Afternoon, once again, welcome again to GPL 357 of Latrobe, where we are a few degrees short of a full circle. It's leading into the prelim finals this week, so it's a big week to talk about, and we have, as our normal co-host up the end there, Theo Marilakos, the Greek goddess, is back. Theo. And we are blessed with one of the monument teams of the Premiership over the last 8 years. We've got from the mighty Ferris, Captain Billy Adams. Welcome, Billy.
Good. Thanks very much for having us, Tony.
No worries at all. And the captain of the club and also a ferret himself, Timmy Stray. Welcome, Timmy.
Thanks very much for having us.
So what we'll do, as always, we'll do a bit of review of last week's action. We'll go out and search for some of those degrees we haven't yet found. We will have a bit of a chat to the boys about how their season's gone. We'll do a quick preview of the knockouts coming this weekend. We've got 100 game play to talk. We'll give a little synopsis of 4 teams that are now out of action, and then we'll talk about the big prelim final. So we might go straight to talk about last week's Premiership semi-finals. The losers of these 2 teams were out, and these guys move into the winners go to the prelim final. And first up, just the Tridents against the Surats guys. The Tridents are 174, the Surats 164. You look at the Surats, they went out with a bit of a bang. Simon Priest was magnificent on this day before it. It was a tough, cold day, and that was just a cracking score, but 33 was all they had after that. And the Tridents got over them with a good team effort. Chris Bape on 37's had a wonderful season, and then Tony Andriata, the captain, as always, on 36, and Murray Carman 35. How'd you see it, guys?
Well, with the Tridents, yeah, it's a good win over the Surats. I spoke to Simon a few times during the season, and he played well for the day, but just couldn't carry on. And congratulations to the Tridents.
Yeah, I do think the Surats had a pretty good season. Just their second season in, they missed the 8 last year, and this year they went a little bit deeper.
They've been fairly consistent, I'd say. They've been doing a really great job. Super effort from Simon with 40 points. That's a great effort in a captain's role. And it was probably a bit of a shame that they didn't get over the line. But well, hopefully the Ferrets knock the Tridents over this week.
The Tridents were consistent all year round, weren't they? They were the highest scoring team at one point for most of the season, so it was pretty obvious that they were going to turn it up in finals time, but well done to the Surats.
Yeah, they've the corporate box, I'm not sure if it's shut down completely, but it won't be flowing as well as it has been over the previous few weeks, and certainly the Tridents building some momentum towards the pointing end of the season. The other match was one of the great road matches. The Buglers up against the Gunners. There's a lot of history here. The McCarthys against basically the Pennant team it is, and the Pennant team on 171. The Buglers got up over the Gunners on 165. Keith Dunstan, they got a bit from their players, the Gunners. Keith Dunstan 36, Vince Gigliotti on 35, Cal coming in on 32, but it fell away pretty quickly. And then the Buglers, a really good solid team effort. Tommy Robertson and Aaron Ozdemir on 35, Dale Stewart and Riley Ryan on 34, just simply 2 got on the day.
Well, the Bugles have been playing well all year, been very consistent, been in the top. Have they been in the top 4 all year? Or?
No, the Buglers, whilst they've always hung in there, they've fallen over the line a bit, the Buglers.
Oh, they got the bottom of the
bottom of the gate, but they're certainly moving into some favouritism. I think with 2 stroke events to go, it's going to sit well for them over the next couple of weeks, I'd say.
Well, they've played well, and the Gunners, well, they're always up there, but they just seem to, at certain parts of the final, seem to sort of go missing. But they've had another good, great season.
Yeah, how do you see it, Tim, Theo?
Look, for me, I was probably a bit disappointed in the Gunners' performance. Big shame. What a champion of a player. Not to come through with the goods in the finals. Very unusual for him. I was a bit shocked there, but then again, all the boys in the Buglers, very consistent side, and well done to Aaron and Tommy with 35 of those, and obviously the boys Rolly and Dale backing them up with 34. It's a very consistent team they've got.
Yeah. Solid scoring.
I agree with Timmy there. They're a very consistent team of viewers. Nothing ever too massive or nothing ever too small. So the Gunners needed to pull something out to get over average.
They certainly will. So before we move into this previewing what's to come, we always go out into the field of battle and see what we can find out and see if we can find some lost degrees. It is amazing what you find out. And here is a regular occurrence here. The Tridents all practicing early on. It's the big knockout semi-final today, guys. How's it feeling, Malcolm, coming off the club well?
Not quite.
That's all right.
But I don't want to hit him well in here, hit him well out there.
Saving it up for that. Here's Bernie, the ex-captain. How are you travelling, Bernie?
But they say we've got to get rid of the rats.
Yeah, well, exactly right. They're out there, a few out there this morning.
Yeah.
You're your slight favourites. All you got to do is do your normal thing.
And we back up with the Tunners in the knockout.
I know.
They beat us last week. So
It's a big day.
who knows?
All the best, guys. So here we are. We've got Jamie Boney, the chemist, holding 1 on 11, mate. How's it feel?
It's a bit of a surreal feeling, I think. I had it and then my game went to shit, so...
That's all right, but good time to have it. The semis of the old knockout.
That's
Chemist
it.
looking all right.
That's it. We'll see how we go. We'll see if I can compose myself.
Good on you, mate. Keep it
Thanks.
going.
Yeah, well, there you go. A holding 1 as a premiership. We've had 2 this season. Flash done shape for Wally World. First game as a premiership player, knocked it in on 10 in round 1, and now Jamie Bain's done it. Reminds me back in 2012, the old Scottish ferret himself, Ian Toll, knocked it in on the first in his first shot of the 2012 season as a premiership player. What a superstar he is.
And that was one of the highlights of the ferrets the whole year, I think, in 2012, to be honest.
It's funny to say that because an even number follows an odd number.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
If you look at these shirts drenched in embroidery here, 2009, 11 and 13 we've seen silverware, 2012 and 14 nothing.
Yeah.
It's an odd year, guys.
Yeah, well, we're still in there for the knockout.
We got one hand on it, Tony. One hand on it.
Yeah,
That's
we
enough.
don't put both hands on it.
Hey, Jimmy.
There's no doubt it's been a difficult year for the old ferrets this year. You've struggled a bit.
Yeah, very slow start. It's just been, we just never seem to gain any momentum. And when you say that some of the teams this year managed to fall over the line by 1, we had a lot of bad luck this year where we just lost by 1. We had 4 of those this year, and I think we lost a couple by 2. So you go, look, we were thereabouts, but we just didn't have the luck with us. I know every viewer out there would be devastated for us, but at the same time, from our perspective, look, we'll become back bigger and better, and hopefully win this knockout and show everyone that we're still.
I must admit, one of the things I noticed through the season is it almost started to feel like people were feeling sorry for the ferrets. I've never heard it before, these ripplings of compassion for you boys.
Yeah, there was a lot of silence.
Alright.
And each time they came up to, if they knew we were a ferret, there'd be a smile. And most of the people who came up to us were the people above us. Because during the season...
You're going to have a lot of people coming up.
I was going to say, we did crack a record. I think we had been up top for a long time. This year, I think we cracked the 16th, was it? Number 16 or 15?
It was like...
So we've had one of those years, and as Timmy was saying, it's just due to a bit of bad luck and losing by, 4 by 1 or a couple by 2. So we hung in there, but just couldn't get those 4 pointers.
Was one highlight for the ferrets over the year, let's face it. You've opened your new clubhouse down behind the Lady 6T. Looks magnificent.
That's wonderful too, yeah. And I invite everybody to come down there. There's going to be a grand opening, so we can give the ferret a run.
Matching colour for the shirts, obviously to match the clubhouse. It's a wonderful venue, and if you're ever passing by, please pop in.
I'm sure the ex-ferret, who I'm sure will watch this from his gallivanting around France, will love the thought.
Hi, Pratty.
That the ferrets will maybe win this knockout. So anyway, so good luck. And with that, we will go straight into the knockouts. We've got the semi-finals and knockouts coming up, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes up. First of all, the ferrets, you guys.
Obviously, Tony Andretti's the danger man for the Tridents. Been exceptional ball this year, and I presume he'd be a fair chance for the old Charles Latrobe with his performances this year. Hopefully I can kick him in the shins before we tee off, and I always meet him halfway around. And well, good luck to you, Tony, but hopefully the pressure gets to you, mate, and the ferrets get over the line.
How about you, Theo? How do you see this going?
The Trident Ferrets. I think it's going to be very, very close. I was looking at some numbers. The Ferrets and the Trident the last sort of 5 weeks, considering you guys finished up pretty strong. It's very, very close.
It is?
Yeah, it is. So I reckon this will be a terrific match.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the first go as well. You have really excelled since Preferred Lies come on. Let's play.
Yeah, and we appreciate them, and we're going to put that up to the committee next year at the start of the comp.
Started early, exactly. The other semi-final, we see the Brother W's have really been a bit of the giant killers up. They didn't finish high on the premiership table, but they've made it into the semis, and they're up against the Goliaths, the Corruptibles, who at this stage, again, like last year, are chasing the Triple Crown. How do you see this guy going, guys, and who's the key players?
Well, the key players for me, I think at the Corruptibles, because they'd have to start favourites, because they're winning everything and they're getting fairly good scores and they complement each other. And if you want to look at, say, some players, Michael Bordeaux might even bring one out of his out of the bag, and then there's Ed running around in a car. He might be able to score as well.
Yeah, he's the mudlark. He goes very well when he's out of the car.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, and then Stilton. So I've played with him a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, and he's hitting the ball quite well.
They're going to rely on David Fairless to stand up. He's been in great form during the year, in my eyes. I hope he can do it again and certainly put another good score on the board. And obviously, they need the talking Johnny Talty to fire up in the morning whilst he's hitting.
Absolutely no doubt at some stage in his round he'll be firing up, whether it's because of good golf or bad golf, I'm not sure. But he will fire at some stage, no doubt. What do you reckon, Theo? Who wins this one?
Yeah, I think the Corruptibles, I think they're going to go to the Triple Crown pretty hard. I think out of the whole team, I don't think there'll be any superstars, just maybe people trying to fight for that top 5 scoring opportunity.
Yeah, well, it'll be very interesting. So, yeah, it'll be a close match, I think. The Tribes and Corruptibles do face the problem of having their eye just on the premiership. It's difficult to win the 3 or even 2, and it shows almost every year where they win one but lose the other and knock out one of them. So we'll see how that ends up going. This week we do have as part of the Tribes a 100-game player, and it is Daryl Hocking, who's been in it from the start. Daryl was with the Corruptibles in 2010 for their premiership win, which is still magnificent. And in 2013 he was over to the Tridents and he was part of their successful 10 survivor winning side. So well done to Daryl on your 100 games. Good stuff. Well done, Daryl. We might just have a very quick review of 4 of the teams that are now out of the running. I might kick us off. I'll talk about the Wanderers, who made the 8, but they lost last week. Have proven very hard to beat. They had a couple of draws and 7 wins, which is a real strong season. It's good, consistent from a core group of players. One being Arena Lee, who was outstanding this year, very consistent all year. So the Wanderers will lick their wounds, I'm sure, and we're looking to come back strong again next year. What about you, Billy, with the Gunners?
Well, the Gunners, there they are again. They're every year, and they've got good players and a lot of classy players. Got their McCarthy's. I really don't know who else is on the team, but just I know Shane and Callum. But they're just there all the time, and for some reason, but it was a good effort, but a bit of bad luck.
Yeah, unfortunate. How about you, Timmy, with the Chemists?
Yeah, well, I've got the Chemists. They have a fairly good all-round side with Denise and Helen Brown in their side. Obviously, it's bad luck to them because they gave us a big razoo during the year when they gave us a touch-up, so it's nice to return the favour in the knockout and accidentally touch them up. So it's good to see them get miss out on the knockout, but in the same time, you need your stars like David Pollock and Vinny to probably just do a little bit more during the year and be a little bit more consistent, and hopefully they'll come back bigger and better next year.
No doubt, good luck getting that through on Saturday. How about you, with the Dynasty?
The Dynasty, let me just check here, they missed the 8, didn't they?
They did.
The Dynasty, one of the highest scoring teams, surely, all year round, and they just couldn't scrape in a full team, which was unbelievable. Plus 100%, which is amazing to have more than against and miss the 8. But yeah, they just couldn't get all the players. So hopefully next year there's some chops and changes to the team.
might have a similar off-season to the Wood Ducks, who I believe are looking at changes to personnel. But finally, we've got the prelim finals of the Premiership. This is when it really starts to get nice and solid. We'll talk about first one. The Tridents will be playing the Corruptibles. Corruptibles second and the Tridents finished fourth. All teams finished in the top four. To me, the key players for the Corruptibles, I think, is a good team effort. They really, no one really stands out in the team, but they all tend to turn up. And the Tridents are a bit the same way, although Tony Angiata certainly had a great score. Chris Vogt is the person I think who may be the difference in that side's performance on the weekend. He's had another great season as well. It's tough to accept, but I just think the Corruptibles might just get over the line in what will be a cracking match. What do you reckon, guys?
Well, I think you're right there. They're both two even sides. As you say, with the Corruptibles being even, and then, one or two players could bring them home in the Tridents, but, overall, it should be a good even game.
Yeah, I think the Corruptibles for me, I think Jeffrey Schofield's due for a good one, and obviously Johnny Denton and Michael Prideaux, they're going to stand up, I think, and finally get over the line over the Tridents in my eyes.
It just defies belief that you're pulling these names out. Well,
good guys.
They just do it every week. It's just magnificent to see. What about you, Theo?
I'm going to go back on the stats. The Tridents have averaged more in the last 3 weeks than the Corruptibles, so I'm going to go on the Tridents. So
there we go.
Well, there you go.
Defeating the Triple Crown, Theo up the end there, and the other prelim hands back to our Anzac Day blockbusters. The Tunners will play the Buglers again in another cracking, massive match. Really playing a stroke of in off the Blues. You'd have to think it's going to favour the Buglers a little with their team laden with pennant stars. But I think the reason why the Tunners have done so good this year is because of their team effort, and I know they're all going to be here this weekend. Key player, obviously, Paul Dusty's been fantastic for him all year, and he'll need to step up again once more time, but I think maybe the Tunners are an absolute cracker. What do you reckon, guys?
Well, I'm the same as you, Tone, because the Tunners were on top, weren't they?
They were
By
13-2. They only lost 2 matches.
Yeah, 2 matches for the year, which is a really good performance on them, and I think that they should start out at favourites. They've got a good team. They've got the Lennox brothers. Well, they can come in with good scores, and then you've got Bob Marsh and Michael O'Driscoll. Well, he could step up.
No doubt about that.
And then there's Ray Wild. He can step up as well. So I'll go for the Tunners against the.
As long as Mick's stepping up in his left leg because
Yes,
he's right
that's
knee
right,
stuff.
Mickey was coming back from a knee injury, so well done, Mickey, for getting back. In my eyes, I think it's going to be a really close one. They're both even sides, and for me, I'm going to go for a draw with the Tunners getting over the line in a countback. So good luck, guys.
I'm going to go the Tunners. They've been the better team all year, clearly, for the latter. But yeah, the Buglers, I don't know. I'm a bit 50-50, but yeah, I'm going to go the Tunners.
There you go. We'll hear
It'll be a ripping game.
We're going to cop it. Sorry, guys.
They will be slaughtering us next week on 357. So we are really into the business end of the season. Thanks for coming on, guys, and sharing your thoughts. Theo, Timmy, and Billy, all the best in the semi-final this weekend, guys. And you might still get something out of this idea, which would be fantastic. Don't forget, if you want to win this thing, you need to turn up and play well. This has been Latrobe's GPL 357, and we'll see you on the weekend.